A.B.C.D. Art by Creative Design. Art education for all. Art education benefits all.
And welcome everyone to another edition of our Junior Creative Studio. We have had quite a week, and I am very excited for our guest this afternoon because he is one of our collaborators. And so I now waste no time in welcoming Mr. Kevon Foderingham to our panel. Hi, Kevon.
Hello, good afternoon, Yeana. How are you?
I am good. So nice to see you again. Yeah?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And congrats on the initiative.
Thank you very much. It has been quite a week, It has been quite a week. Good time. So I want people to know a little bit more about you. So I'm going to share your bio with everyone. Yeah? Tell me if you add, you'll add after, right? Yeah. So we have
short bio, long bio.
It'll be good. Don't worry. I have it.
Right, okay, take it away.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Kevon Foderingham is the Executive Director of CFAFF, founder for Common Good, and founder of ECAD Community Arts Center. With 17 years of local, regional, and international work experience in the hospitality, education, creative, and non-profit sectors, he describes himself as an art for social change advocate, and over the years has been involved with and led several projects in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean that have provided a foundation for arts and culture practitioners. Passionate about the arts, with a belief in the power of education and a mission to connect people, Kevon is building a global platform created to support cultural diplomacy, build the capacity of cultural practitioners, and promote social change through the arts, aptly dubbed for Common Good. Kevon uses his professional experience in marketing and communications and life coach training in his personal brand visioning practice, helping creative practitioners find and amplify the essence of their personal brands. Thank you so much, Kevon, for joining us. Yeah?
Thank you.
So where do we begin? Because there's so many different facets of your journey. But let's give us a little insight into how we've reached to this point of Common Good.
Okay. So For Common Good is my latest initiative. And I believe it will be the initiative that I will take forward for the rest of my career. I really believe in the power of the arts to transform, to edify, to affect change. When you look at history, when you look at world history, there are music, there are songs, there are movies that have all inspired change and movements. So I believe that we need to harness that, especially coming from a region where we are so creative. And I do not believe that we have yet been able to harness or understand just how powerful arts and culture is. We still see it as something that is for aesthetics, and we have not been able to, use it as a weapon, use it as a tool to affect change. So I believe that that is my mission moving forward, and everything that I do is going to be imbued with that mission of using the arts to transform.
Okay. I know that your travels have been wide and varied. I mean, this has really taken you to some unusual spots and to have some different experiences, right? What have been some of the more motivational moments or awe-inspiring moments for you that kind of helps fuel your passion as you move forward?
Okay. I believe a career changer for me, a life changer, was in 2019. when the U.S. State Department, through the U.S. Embassy here, selected me to take part in the International Visitor Leadership Program, IVLP, which is the State Department's premier exchange program. And my cohort, our focus was on promoting social change through the arts. So it was myself and 16 other arts and social change advocates from around the world. We were transplanted in the States for 21 days and got the opportunity to visit 4 different states. And each day we met with probably like a half a dozen or so change makers who were all really into using the arts to affect social change. And I mean, it's, you know, the States. So their programs were on such a scale and had such impact that it was really inspiring. And what I thought was even more inspiring is that what they do really well we don't do, they were able to measure. And I know measurement is a bit of a challenge for us. I mean, there are a lot of people doing work, but how do we quantify it? And when I came back home, I really decided that I really had to focus just on this. Even before I went, so when I got the actual package from the embassy, I was really intimidated by the 16 other bios that I saw there. I'm like, whoa, do I even match up to some of these people who, some of them were in the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, people who have like won Dancing with the Stars in their country and stuff. I'm like, so I went there with the mindset that I had to shine. Yeah, I, made up my mind that I had to shine, and I made up my mind that I had to take this opportunity to make connections. So one of the connections I made was with the World Affairs Council of Kentucky and Southern Indiana when I went to Louisville, which was not one of the states high on my list to go to, but it turned out to be my favorite. And since coming home, I founded a program with them called the Arima by Louisville Exchange, which the embassy here has so graciously funded. And it has brought together at least 40 local creatives, artisans, change makers, educators to take part in a 6-month exchange with cohorts from the state of Louisville. And it has been a fantastic experience so far for them.
Great, that's so fantastic. Now I know that for most of what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about your work with youth.
Yes.
The semi, I know you said it was a great experience. Is there something that you can share in particular about that particular program that you figured really worked? Like, that was something that you're going to hold on to and you're going to see if you can carry it over?
Okay. When I went to Louisville, so I keep saying Louisville because it's not my favorite place. There was one particular organization, well, 2. One was called Studio Works by Zoom Group. Right. And what they do, they have a day center that caters to persons with special needs, adults with special needs. And they have been in existence for several years. So it's a drop-in center. They come there for the day and they teach these persons with special needs art. And it was so amazing because some of them have been there for like 17 years, every day coming, but quite a number of them are now accomplished artists. So much so, one of them, somebody wrote a book about her. She is getting commissions from banks and museums and stuff. And she is somebody with special needs, but she is using her special needs to, tell her story using the arts. So that was inspiring. So much so for our program here, they are one of the partners, and our group here is learning about using the arts to empower people with special needs. Another group was the Louisville Story Program. An interesting thing about Louisville that I did not know is that they are designated a compassionate city. So what that means is that they welcome immigrants and refugees. So it actually shocked me because it's like down south, and you would think it's not as diverse. But there were people from Ethiopia, from here, from there, from everywhere. So much so, one of their schools is a magnet school for persons who come in and their first language is not English, and they teach them English in high school before they transition them into the mainstream schools. So what they do is that they teach persons from underserved and unrepresented communities how to tell their stories using writing. And then they then publish these books. So they are a publishing company, they are an NGO, but they are churning out authors who are telling these unheard stories. And in the books, some of them are bestsellers, and I just found that really amazing. So they are one of our partners on our exchange as well. So those were two programs that I found that were really interesting.
And I'm glad that you took the time, and we took the time to explore that, because, you know, one of the things that keeps coming up every time we speak about arts education and learning about the arts and being involved in the arts is how viable it is. And I think sometimes we have been so on hold into understanding or conceptualizing what it means to be involved in the arts industry. You really figure that you may go and study arts, or you're going to be a painter. You're going to draw. And I said, they ain't talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to dance, you're going to perform. But for each of these visual and performing arts areas, there's such a wide range of career opportunities.
Exactly.
Get involved in. I mean, like for you, I know you have a Zafat here, right? When you say, you don't describe yourself as an arts practitioner per se, but look at what you have been able to do in order to create these various forums.
Yeah.
Do want to upgrade their skills within the different disciplines, as well as connect people across the globe, right? And you know, Art by Creative Design, our booth is all part of the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. They are having their biennial conference. It takes place this week. It ends on Saturday, but our public forum ends tomorrow. And their main area is about breaking barriers, beyond the norm. And I think in terms of your own initiatives, you have definitely done that, breaking barriers, right? Language and all. So, language and all. So in terms of what you have prepared for us, you're going to present slides and stuff for us now?
Today I will be presenting on the For Common Good Youth Arts Enrichment Program. What is the challenge? So you know you come up with all these initiatives and stuff, but it starts with a challenge. So this is from a global standpoint. There is declining official international development assistance, so there's less funding for programs. There are more social ills, even made more glaring by the recent pandemic. And we have a continued underutilization of the creative arts as a tool to drive social change. So this is what I thought the challenge was. And so the solution was to create this thing called the For Common Good platform. So the For Common Good platform is a physical and virtual creative arts initiative that is shining a light on the creative arts and calling on the creative people power of artists, cultural leaders, and other sectors who are already using nothing more than their creative capital and genius to mobilize culture and to create positive change. So the For Common Good platform has three basic tenets. One is cultivation, increasing the arts for social change, programming knowledge of stakeholders. The second is co-creation, leading to an increase in innovative community-driven approaches to social action. And the last being connection. This is how we increase access to people, information, resources. This is how we share all of the work that everyone across the globe is doing using the arts to promote social change. Our organization, Caribbean Fashion and Arts Feature Festival, CFAF. So as we were speaking about before, after my participation in the IVLP program last year, I was inspired to rebrand all of CFAF's initiatives. We've been around for 5 years, and now we are going to be known as CFAF For Common Good. Our mission is to raise the awareness of the power of the creative arts to foster social change. Our vision to be known as the premier global platform that showcases the power of the arts to promote social change. And with a vested interest in emerging arts, education, and social impact, we value innovation in programming, knowledge transfer, and cultural exchange. Art plays a critical role in shaping and renewing culture. It can shine a spotlight on truth, create moments of joy, or inspire us to act. In times like these, we need to empower artists like never before to help us reflect, to rekindle our hope, and to imagine a better future. A quote from Tim Jones, the CEO of Artscape, which is a leading arts nonprofit. What is the ethos of this for common good thing that we're talking about? So now, for common good provides participants with international exchange opportunities that teach them how to use art to transform their community. And so far, we started this new For Common Good thrust, I would say, in 2020. Currently, we have two main programs, which is the For Common Good Arima by Louisville Exchange, which we spoke about, and of course, the For Common Good Youth Arts Enrichment Program. So the For Common Good Youth Arts Enrichment Program, or YEP, which is currently being piloted, offers an opportunity for young people to develop their identities and build skills that will benefit them for a lifetime. So with arts education at its core, this community-driven program not only builds their visual arts, drama, music, and dance skills, but also exposes them to concepts of art for social change and cultural diplomacy. So building on CFA's previous programs, this pilot started in 2021 and allows Trinidad and Tobago-based youth between the ages of 14 and 18 to get the opportunity to participate in an exchange with champions from around the globe. So we started in February, and we have a cohort, and so far they have met with practitioners from Burundi, Canada, Myanmar, Germany, Grenada, the Philippines, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, the United Kingdom, and the United States. And they have spent, I would say, the past 14 weeks or so in a series of workshops and talks and just meeting all of these persons who are well-established practitioners in the visual arts, poetry, theater, filmmaking, dance, and music. And just this week here, they are learning about social change themes like quality education, no poverty, gender equality, upward mobility, and sustainable communities. So it's full-on learning about the arts, but also learning about pressing social issues. So this program, which started in February, culminates at the end of August with our first annual For Common Good Global Arts for Social Change Festival, or For Common Good Fest for short, where we are dedicating a day to these youth participants. So there's a youth summit where they get to showcase to the world their own initiatives or performances that utilize their own chosen creative skill to highlight their own chosen social issue. It's going to be really exciting. It's all virtual. And this is going to be shared with the world, with all of these countries where we had facilitators. They're going to share, they're going to be there in the festival. So it's a chance for our young people to be exposed to the world in a really different way. Here is a snapshot of just a few of the presenters and facilitators we have had over the past few weeks. So we had Aaliyah Pierce, who is an American writer, educator, international performance poet, also award-winning. We have here Samantha Inarukundo, who is a Burundian cultural entrepreneur and gallerist. She is the founder of 257 Arts, the first ever permanent art gallery in Burundi. We have Abby Charles here, who is a US-based Trinidadian, who a lot of us may know. She is the founder of Benny Carib, a fashion brand that has a social change ethos. We had Jimmy Coco from Myanmar, who is the founder of the Dance Lab Myanmar, the winner of Myanmar's Got Talent for his dancing, and most recently, he was a judge on Myanmar's Got Talent. He was the winner of Dancing with the Stars, all right? Who else? Here, A.G. Sanyo from the Philippines. A.G. has a Guinness World Record for creating the longest ever peace mural, all right? AG has traveled the world. He's a National Geographic photographer, and it's just a heavy hitter. But AG has been using the arts to tell a story of climate change. So, as I said, this is just a few of them who our young people would have encountered and spent time with. And it was really transformational. It was really informative. And it was just letting them see that all of these people are creative practitioners, but who have been using their talent, one, to make a living, but also to make a positive impact in their country. What is our future roadmap? So over the next 2 years, with grant funding already secured, so we have gotten a generous grant, and we will release more information about it soon. So it means that our For Common Good Youth Arts Enrichment Program pilot is now going forward with 2 years funding. So in 2022, our aim is to partner with 4 schools, north, south, east to west, and to implement this program in each school. And then 2023, the same thing. So we are hoping to reach hundreds of students in the next 2 years. Our partners for the pilot, definitely Art by Creative Design, who has really jumped on board and supported and been here with us in the sessions and helped us to source participants for the pilot. I'm thankful. Benny Karib, who has supported through providing scholarships to some of these students. Cassie RC, which is out of South Africa. They are a programming partner. Raft, out of the US, a programming partner. 257 Arts in Burundi. ECR, which is the space that I'm in now, which I founded. Bailey, out of the UK. And 3E Programs Inc., which is a college preparation organization out of the US that focuses on preparing youth of color for college. So this week, our young people have been with them learning about social change issues. Our contact information here, so for Common Good Platform at gmail.com, Facebook for Common Good Platform, Instagram.com for Common Good Platform, and just a few weeks ago we launched www.forcommongoodplatform.org, which is going to be the hub for all of our Arts for Social Change, info, events, knowledge, everything moving forward. Yeah, so all I have to say now is thank you, and I'm willing to take any questions or anything that you may have, in particular on the Youth Arts Enrichment Program or any of our other initiatives.
Well, this has been so great, Kevon. Thank you for this overview of the program. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. We're going to share an item that's presented to us by Jesse Jagnarein out of Golden Orchestra. And we have been partnering with Golden Hands because they are celebrating 28 years of Pan Excellence. And so we'll be happy to have them on board. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about the For Common Good platform. Yeah.
say we jamming to the songs of the Caribbean. We grooving to calypso and steel band. This jamboree Irie is one love, so feel free, for we are the people of the Caribbean, showing that we don't want no basin plan.
A Caribbean connection, a regional vibration.
I say we jamming to the songs of the Caribbean. We grooving to calypso and steel band. Getting together, so should every leader, for we are one people, one destination. So let us move on without hesitation.
A Caribbean connection, a regional vibration.
I say we jamming to the songs of the Caribbean. We grooving to calypso and steel band.
Thank you so much, Jessie, for sharing your talent with us. And you can follow us on our social media pages, on Facebook and Instagram, where you will have all the links to all our different features, including our Enkindle virtual visual arts exhibition. It's featuring art pieces presented by various arts educators throughout Trinidad and Tobago, with a special photo exhibit from photographer David Stefan Huggins of the DSHG Co. Yes? So, Kevon, let's get back into it. And you shared so much about this wonderful platform called For Common Good. And yes, Art by Creative Design is very much pleased and honored to be a collaborator in this pilot phase. Yes? So far, no, it's been how many months have passed so far since we started this?
February, March, April, May, June, 5.
5 months, right? And they've had so many different experiences. I'm very pleased to have been able to be a part of some of these sessions, and I'm very much inspired by the various presenters. So far as how things have progressed, what are standout moments for you?
I think that every week so far has been a standout. Even though I, know all of the facilitators, there are some that I knew very well and some who I didn't know that well. But most of them I knew very well. But what is a standout is that even though I know them, is that when they tell their stories a second time, I learn something. So it was all a learning experience, and it just made me see how even more awesome they are. I think Lizzo from South Africa was one of my favorites because I like music. So I liked how she, sang a little something, and it's just beautiful. And I think that each of the participants reacted to each of the facilitators in a different way. So because they all resonated with them differently. I think it has been a fantastic experience, and I can't wait to expand it.
Okay, cool. One of the things you mentioned in your presentation is that this all culminates with this youth festival, a youth summit, right? You didn't mention the actual date of the day. Is there a date yet?
It's August 26th to 27th to 29th. So on August 27th, we are having a virtual exhibition. So we're going to showcase the work of some of the participants in the other program. And we are going to showcase, we're going to do a film screening. So of films from across the world, of short films, where they address social change issues. On the second day, we are dedicating that day to the youth arts enrichment participants. And on the third day is when we highlight the Remember Louisville exchange people. So it's like a full-on 3-day program that is going to highlight arts and photography and film, going to highlight the youth, and also going to highlight the work that the adults have been doing over the past 6 months as well.
Yeah, it sounds it sounds amazing. I know that originally it was meant to be a live event.
Yeah.
But of course, with everything, with the pandemic and how everything has progressed in Trinidad and Tobago, that had to be altered. What was that like for you in terms of the planning and switching? Like what was some of the things that you thought about that could still be captured in a virtual space?
I think it's fantastic, to be quite honest with you. So the actual Remember Louisville exchange was actually, when we got the grant, it was intended that the facilitators from Louisville would come and spend a week here, and it was intended that they would have selected one or two of the participants who would have gone to Louisville to spend a week there as well. So that was disappointing for all of us, even the entities that we were working with, because that physical exchange is important. But obviously, because of COVID, we had to make everything virtual. So it would have lost a little something, but at least it was able to happen. In terms of the festival, though, I think we are going to retain the virtual element, because if we are talking about having this global festival, then the only way to do that is to keep it virtual. So in the future, we're going to keep this virtual festival and then do pop-ups around the world. So all of our partners, we will walk them through of how they do their own for common good showcases. So it will be a true global event, but the main thing is always going to remain virtual now.
Okay. But I haven't seen any questions in our chat as yet. But before we move off of this, I want to kind of talk about, in terms of your the participants' response, what has that been like so far? What are some of the comments coming through? What about their parents? Have they shared anything with you?
Their parents are really happy. So some of their parents message me and say that they are really impressed with the program. We had one or two parents who have started on some of the sessions as well. And I think what I really like is the commitment of the young people. They are really committed They hardly miss any sessions. They, reach out to me directly for any clarity. And I can definitely see growth in quite a few of them already in terms of their confidence and stuff. I'm seeing that. Over the past few weeks, they have been doing one-on-one sessions with some creators like Conrad Paris and Ozzy Merrick, and I think that is an experience that they can take with them for a lifetime because they are getting to work one-on-one with practitioners who have made a name for themselves locally and internationally.
And you have been calling a wide range of big names, and in terms of the different fields these various persons come in. How important is that? How important is it for you as a community leader who is involved in this kind of space to create those avenues for, as I said, well-established practitioners to now impact on the young persons in a different way? How important is that? How easy is it or difficult is it?
Actually,
Right?
Actually, it's not challenging at all. But as I keep saying, collaboration is the new currency. And what I have been able to do over the years, and I think what my superpower is networking and bringing people together. So, and also providing something that is quality. So basically, when I call in a favor or I ask somebody to come and do something, they, immediately know that one, it's something that is going to make a difference, it's going to be quality, but also is that I value partnership. So they can definitely call on me in the future for something. So it's about building that community and having your favors inside. I think it's important to have that. It's important to know who you can call on and who you can rely on. One of the facilitators, Dalia Fernandez. So Dalia is Canadian, and she spends part of her time here. She's married to Nikolai Salcedo, the actor, the singer Nikolai. And Dalia was so excited that I asked her to be a facilitator. And she's even taking this thing more serious than me. She's like on them, she's giving them assignments, she's working with them, and I think that's so beautiful. And I think that is a highlight because she said she is so thankful and so happy that she could do it. And everybody, all of the other facilitators are thankful and happy. So it's giving them an opportunity to give back. And it's, you don't have to put money into something. You don't have to, it's just your time and your compassion and your caring. So they all care about these young people. And I think that is important, especially in a time where a lot of people can feel like they are overlooked. A lot of young people can feel like there is no space for them to thrive. No one cares about what they have to say. So I think the important thing about this program is even though I had my ideas on what it could be, I sort of let them build it as they go. So I didn't tell them what social issue they had to focus on or which creative skill they had to focus on. They are now problem solving and they are choosing what they want to say and how they want to say it. And I think that is important.
I like how you included some two key words, values. In addition to persons being asked to give their time, it's also about giving that sense of compassion and that caring. Because it's about empathy,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times when people volunteer, they again when you ask them to assist, it's kind of again it's limited. And you tell yourself, okay, it's money, time, but there's also that other social aspect of it as well, right? Which is important. And
Yeah.
I feel like, it's the first time I must say, Kevon, it's the first time I've heard somebody present and included those kinds of words together with that whole sense of understanding of contribution. What does it mean to contribute your time, especially in the area of youth development?
Exactly.
Yeah, because those aesthetic aspects of it is very important. Yeah. I know that this For Common Good platform, great initiative. It is in its pilot phase, completing with its youth summit at the end of August. And you mentioned that in your journey forward, you're looking forward to partnering with schools.
Yes.
Oh, why? Why it is that you made you and your team made a decision that we're not just going to do it as a standalone initiative, but let's reach out in a meaningful way to the schools in our community.
Again, so I'm going to say my statement again. Collaboration is the new currency.
Yes.
My formative background, most of my career I have worked in the NGO sector, from the very highest level to the volunteer level. And I don't believe in revamping the wheel. I don't believe in fixing something that is not broken, but also I don't believe in doing things in silos. So even though For Common Good is doing all of this great stuff, we're not doing anything that nobody else has done before. We are just, doing it in a different way. And so I think about coming from the NGO world. So yes, we are getting funding to do these things. And I think it is important to share. Yeah, it's important to share, it's important to spread it around. And schools now, a lot of schools may not have the strongest arts programs because a lot of focus has been on academia. So why not bring us in with this little program and just find an hour a week to help empower a few students who these schools believe have a future in arts and culture. And I rather work through and with organizations or entities or schools or NGOs that are already working with youth. Because, that you have to know your strengths. So For Common Good strength is about putting together programs, it's about capacity building. So when we decide to exit the field, there are other entities who could then benefit from the work that we would have put in. There's a template to now run and scale these kind of programs. So it's not really about us.
That's very admirable, big of you. It's a broad view, and I think especially I think it's one of the lessons that we have learned coming out of 2020, 2021, this space that we're in right now, that when we're moving forward with projects, it has to be about being bigger than you. It's not about
Exactly.
you. It's about creating avenues for all of our generations, people who are here in the now, and not just the young persons, adults, and
Everybody.
forward. It's about everybody. It's about all. In art by creative design, we talk about arts education for all, arts benefit for all. It's about the all, and how we can now, well, I know the going term is pivot, but it's not just pivoting. It's not just about pivoting, because pivoting you pivot and you get dizzy and fall down. It's about clearing new pathways as we
Yes.
get this
Yes.
fourth revolution, right? This is the fourth industrial revolution, right? It's about establishing, as you say, establishing new systems of doing things. We are going to be doing things differently, and we have a clear sense of why, though. Right? We might not know what they're gonna look like because we don't
It doesn't matter. But
matter.
I said, okay, so as I mentioned, I've worked in the NGO world.
Yeah.
And when funding ends, programs end. So when I decided to launch my own NGO, I said, that is never going to happen. So it has to be a way that even if we don't have funding, even if we close down, the work that we did must continue. And I think by sharing and building the capacity of other organizations to carry it on, I think that is the most important thing to do. Your programs must live on.
That's important. Okay, well I did find my clip with our A.B.C.D booth, right? But before I move on to sharing that, people, you're encouraged, if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the chat. But we touch on what's happening in our schools and in a very real way. I just want to share one thing, or what are your thoughts? Because you did mention the fact that there are a number of our schools, right, where they may not have a strong arts program. right? And then you, with your initiative, you are now doing your part to create that kind of supporting mechanism, right? How important it is, do you think, for schools, though, for the school community, to try to support the arts programs within their own spaces?
Okay. I think that I would have.
You know,
Hmm?
especially now, 2025.
Yeah. I
Online
mean,
learning.
from personal, so I would have attended one of the quote unquote prestige schools, right? And we only had art up to Form 3, right? At that time. And I believe had we had stuff like arts and theater and music, like what's on the actual curriculum now, my path may have been very, very different. I may have, not me, I most likely would have gotten into the arts. But we didn't have that choice, you know? And then now, even though a lot of the schools have it on the curriculum, I am not sure how much emphasis is being placed on it. And then I am being honest, I'm saying I am not sure, right? But similarly, like how all of our academic subjects, the traditional academic subjects, you have barrage of lessons and after school and this for that. I don't think that is there for the arts. So I think programs like yours and programs like mine, we are now filling the gap for that extracurricular, after school, extra help for these young people who actually want to have a future in the arts. And I think one of the good things about my program is that they are being exposed to people abroad who are doing it. Because locally, I mean, it may not, arts may not have the kind of exposure career-wise, so I think that is important too for them to see that there is a future in the arts.
We're on a mission to encourage everyone to dream, create, and achieve. We believe.
This afternoon here to close out our Junior Creative Studio for today, we have Mr. Kevon Foderingham, who has been with us for the past hour, sharing with us about his For Common Good platform. Right now, Kevon, we lost a little bit of time because I had to go and check on the dog. Right?
That's fine.
The dog was making real noise. I had to go and check on the dog, right? So, closing comments. What do you want to share with everybody?
So from August 1st, we will start, which is just next week. I can't believe the year is going by so quickly. We're going to start sharing the links and the info about how you can attend the festival. So for Common Good Fest, August 27th to 29th, first edition. And we welcome young people, mature people, every people, but especially persons who are involved in the arts, interested in the arts, who see themselves as being change makers, policy makers, educators. We definitely want you to attend. It's going to be free. It's going to be online. So visit For Common Good platform on Facebook, on Instagram, and also forcommongoodplatform.org to keep up to date with information. And I think it's going to be something very inspirational to attend, but also fun. Yeah, so looking forward.
I am looking forward to it. It's exciting. It's been quite a stellar program. I mean, what's going on? But listen, one of the things I didn't want us to end without touching on is your work at the ECR, the Community Arts Center. It's again groundbreaking, innovative initiative in you setting up that creative hub. So just I can't let you leave it all talking about the ECR and Gourmet Cafe, and I know you're together, Jamaican, where the Blue Mountain grounds, and I know you're getting that ready for me, right? Oh yeah,
I'll give you a tour. I'll give you a tour.
Right, good. Okay, cool. Let me get a tour. Yay!
Right? So we are in East Birmingham here now. So all things local and Caribbean. So you have local wines and chocolates and coffees and teas and all of that. I will show you outside, which is the yard. We are in the process of doing with all of our murals on the walls right now. So this is the yard. That's our intention wall.
Nice.
So we invite persons who come to leave a word of inspiration.
I love it.
So they have to come and do murals. Yeah.
Excellent.
And we have E-Studio, which is our art gallery, but right now, you know, that galleries are closed, so we don't have any art hanging right now, but we have an art gallery too. So, yeah.
Go and hang out by that inspiration wall. What you call it again? Let's remind me. Your inspiration wall. What you call it?
Yeah, the inspiration wall.
Inspiration wall, right? Yeah, lovely. Power comes from within. Let your art inspire others.
So we ask everybody who comes to leave a word of inspiration.
I appreciate it. And that's what the art's about, right? And imagine if we have similar spaces throughout all our...
Everywhere, correct. Say hello, Makina is the manager of East Gourmet.
Oh, hi, Makina. Yeah, girl. I mean, art is a joy, but it's real work, but it's a joy. I think that's what makes
it is. It is. So yeah, so ECR, this is the only thing of its type in the East. And I lived in the UK for about 5 years when I was just out of sixth form. And I was involved in the entertainment industry and fashion and stuff like that. And every fashion week, so London Fashion Week happened twice per year, but all of the big shows took place in the West End. So it's similar to what happens in Trinidad, where everything takes place in the West. And after a few years, they started this thing called Fashion East, which was in the eastern part of London, which wasn't as trendy and stuff like that, but that's where all of the new fashion talent was coming out of. So I was like, this feels a lot like what happens at home. So I had it in my mind, I had the name ECR in my mind for about 10 years. And I didn't know what it would become, but I know I wanted to use it. And when I found this space, that is when I was like, okay, so this is going to be ECR, and this is going to be a space that is going to churn out talent from the East. Yeah.
Wonderful. And great note to end on. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kevon Foderingham for Common Good. Yep. And we do Art by Creative Design looks forward to continuing in partnership with you and in collaboration with you. Yeah.
Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your support. And keep doing what you do. You do it well.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us for our Junior Creative Studio today. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
I press the button and the doors go up. Whoa, that money clip us now, that new now looks like. Whoa, when we sell we mean unconditional love. When we sell
A.B.C.D. Art by Creative Design. Art education for all. Art education benefits all.